Hello, everyone, and welcome to our presentation today. Today, I want to take a few minutes to welcome everyone to our Webinar Wednesday series. This is an opportunity where I get to sit down with many of you and do a little bit of training, really walk you through some of the recommendations and techniques that I recommend as we all move forward in bringing our vegan message to the world, bringing our vegan businesses to the world, and ultimately supporting the larger community of kind of individuals that are seeking our support and help. So today I'm really excited about doing our webinars because, as always, I love these to be fun and interactive sessions. So whether you are hanging out here with me in Zoom, love seeing you there, love seeing everybody's faces, which is super awesome. Or if you are catching up with me on one of the social media channels that we are broadcasting on. Either way, if you have a question, let me know. You can post it at any time. Now, because I'm juggling a couple of different platforms, I might take me a few minutes to get to it, but don't worry. After I finish the slides, I'll go back through and make sure I didn't miss anything. If anyone's having any trouble with sound or connection or anything like that, let me know. But hopefully from a logistics standpoint, we are ready to go and ready to rock and roll. And I'm really excited about having this opportunity to do that. So we're just going to get our presentation queued up here on the screen, and hopefully everyone will see our presentation for today. All right, so let's get started here. So for today's session, for today's presentation, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about the idea of, I guess we'll call it, let's make a deal. The reason I used this term, the reason I wanted to use this time to kind of talk about the deal is because we're in a holiday season right now. This is the time of year where many of us are starting to think about the gifts that we give to friends, the things that we buy for our family members, and so forth. And not that I want you to be so consumer driven, not that I want you to be all about capitalism and all that good stuff. What I really want to stress today, or get you to think about today, is I want you to think about how in your business are you going to have an offering? Because for many of us that have service-based businesses, for many of us who have businesses that are not the traditional tangible products, often we sit on the sidelines during this time. Often we do a couple things and maybe dabble, but what I want to do today is make sure that everyone is participating and actively participating in this holiday season. All right. Now, for some of you, you may be new, you maybe haven't met and hung out before. So I'm your presenter, Stephanie Redcross West, and I've been vegan for about 15 years now. And the idea is I just love being able to talk about marketing, talk about businesses, talk about business planning. I'm really a nerd when it comes to that side of things. But because of my passion around veganism and about kind of creating this vegan world that we all live in and desire, I try to bring those two things together. So often when I do presentations like this, I'm going to be talking about the marketing and the business and how do we do it as vegans and how do we create businesses that we're passionate about and how do we change the world through these businesses. And what I hope I do for you today is inspire you a little bit, maybe give you that nudge you needed to get something done this holiday season, or help you maybe look at things a little bit differently in your businesses, whether you've had it for years, whether you launched it this year, or whether you're just getting started. I want to give you some of that inspiration. All right. So the first thing I want to say is I want everybody in the game this year. I want everyone to participate in the holiday season this year, because traditionally when we think about service-based businesses, we've really kind of been seen as businesses that are not always in play during the holiday time. And the reality is this has been a crazy year. This has been a unique year. And when I say that, for many of us, our businesses are not doing as well as they've been before. We've struggled, we've pivoted, we've stretched ourselves, we've tried to do things in totally different ways. And the one thing I want you to kind of take away is that I don't want you to get to this time of the year and say, 2020 is just done, or I'm just done. It's just not, what else am I going to do? I really want to keep that hope alive. I want to make sure that you look at the rest of the year with that optimism. And I want you to start thinking about how you can play a role. Now, the role may be different for some of you. You may do things that you haven't done before. You may offer things differently. But what I want to do today is remind you that this is a unique and interesting time for service-based businesses for a couple of reasons. For many of you that offer services out there, often what you're offering is an opportunity for people to transform their lives, to transform their process, to transform their businesses, their services, their website, their design, if you're a graphic designer or interior designer or something like that. Remember, often as service-based businesses, we help people kind of foster that change in their lives. So when you think about the holiday season, and as people are maybe looking for alternatives to what they've offered before, imagine the idea that you can be the alternative to a traditional holiday gift and be that service gift that offers transformation. And I really believe that people would be excited about the idea of not just giving somebody a trinket this holiday season, not just giving somebody an Instapot this holiday season, but imagine if they gave someone cooking classes this holiday season. Imagine if they gave someone training on how to use that Instapot so it doesn't sit on the shelf and collect dust, or maybe that Instapot that someone gave them last year, the person's buying the services this year to help utilize it. That's what I mean. I want you to think like that when you're thinking about your holiday offering. I want you to realize that many of us have services out there that complement products that people already have, things that people already want, things that people want to accomplish. So what I want you to do is think about your business from that standpoint. Now, I know many of you are in totally different businesses. So at any point in time during today's presentation, if you're like, Stephanie, but I have this kind of service-based business, can you just give me an idea of how that would work for a holiday gift? I love coming up with ideas on the fly. So feel free to use the comments, whether you're in social media or you're here in Zoom, to do that. Now, I am going to have a slide and give you some recommendations towards the end, so I'm not going to leave you hanging with nothing. But I know for some of you that may be a burning question. And if it is, feel free to post that in the comments because I definitely will address it. All right. Now, when I talk about the holiday season, I want to ground us. I want to talk about what time period am I really talking about here? When am I talking about? And for many of us, the holiday season is really November, December, and January. And I bring this up because I'm doing this webinar in November. And some of you may be like, oh goodness, Stephanie, I can't turn around an offer for next week. I can't put something in place that quickly. And I didn't want you to feel the pressure to figure it out so fast. I wanted you to realize that you have multiple opportunities along the way over the remaining weeks in November and in December and January to participate, to test some of this out and to try it out. So therefore, some of you may play in all of these months, and some of you may pick and choose. So feel free to do that. The other thing I wanted to show you is when we think about the holiday season, sometimes we think about the holidays that we celebrate, or we think about the holidays that we may not be aware of, the ones that we participate in versus the ones that are available now or have, I guess, come about over time. And what I mean by that is in November, many of us know about things like Black Friday. But not everyone knows about Small Business Saturday. And this is a great day where people are encouraged to support small businesses. So why not have an offering for Small Business Saturday? And that I want to put on your radar. Something else that's changed over the years. It used to be kind of like Cyber Monday was kind of the term. And what it used to be is kind of retail stores and everything that was in person was kind of like the Black Friday offering. And then Cyber Monday was when things started to switch online and people would buy online. Well, the reality is that line is a little bit blurred, and especially this year it's been blurred because I'm sure many of you have gotten Black Friday promotions already. I mean, even the first week of November, I think they started popping up. So the idea is this holiday season has extended, and this holiday season, even things like Cyber Monday has turned into Cyber Week. Therefore, there's multiple opportunities for you. I don't want you to feel like, I got to get it in by not this Friday, but the Friday after that. Otherwise, I miss out. The other thing I want you to do is think about December in different ways. December has an amazing day called Giving Tuesday. And it's a day where people think about giving to their local nonprofit or organization that they support. So if you are in a position to give this year, maybe your Giving Tuesday is a campaign where you let people know where you're going to be giving, where you're going to be taking some of the proceeds of your business and giving back. Or maybe you want to do a fundraiser with your local nonprofit or organization that you have a partnership with or you worked with before and do something special for Giving Tuesday. So everything you do doesn't have to be hardcore promotion. It can be something where you're giving back as well. And what I also want you to think about is all of the holidays in the season. Sometimes we get a little bit Christmas centric, especially here in the US. And what I want you to do is think about all the holidays that everyone celebrates and how can you support people. Now, I just put a few on here because I only have so much space. But the idea is spend some time and just do like a quick Google search. You will be so surprised. If you Googled December holidays or December 2020 holidays, they're like a holiday almost every day. Now, some of the holidays you may not celebrate, but there's all types of days in December that you can promote, celebrate, or may align with your business. So make sure you look up those dates and see if those dates will work for you. And then the last one, obviously, is January. Now, New Year's is really the big one, the first and New Year's Eve. But January has turned into this like New Year's resolution, this we restart, try things new kind of month in a sense. So for many of you that are starting or running a business, the beginning of the year is just like awesome reset. So therefore, I want you to look at January, and normally it's in the first 10 days where people are really excited about signing up for things and considering this, that it has an opportunity for you to kind of have a promotion and have something going on those first 10 days. Now, it doesn't mean you can't do it the whole month. I just think those first 10 days are the sweet spot. So if you have to put down some time, I want you to think about that. All right. And the other thing I want you to think about is types of offerings. As service-based businesses, sometimes it's hard to think about what you can offer. What would you put out there? And while you can do things like a one-time deep discount, you can definitely do that. I also want you to think about things like bundles. So anything that you sell, maybe a la carte, anything that you sell as a one-piece package, instead of selling like one listing in a sense, sell someone a 3-month package listing. Instead of selling someone, maybe your traditional package on your website is I'm trying to think of a package. Maybe you give people, maybe you're a consultant or a coach, and you normally do four 1-hour sessions for A, B, and C price. What you can do is change up that package and make it a package that you only offer this time of year. So yes, traditionally you do 4 of them together in a kind of discounted rate. But maybe what you're going to do for this holiday season is do a 6 package, 6 consults in the package, 8 consults in the package. And the reason I bring that up is this year can be a really fun time to offer something that you haven't really offered before. Maybe if you're a cooking instructor, I want you to think about which one of your classes can be a gift option. Now, the challenge with the gift option and why this is important to think about is that when someone normally signs up for a cooking class, they put their name in, they decided on the time, I'm going to show up on Tuesday at 3:00. Great. People are going to show up on Tuesday at 3:00. But if you're gifting it to someone else, you don't know if they're available on Tuesday at 3:00. So therefore, you need an option or a way for people to be able to gift a class to someone, but they have the flexibility to pick the date and the time to show up. So therefore, you may have a gifting option where a person can sign up for 2 of your classes. And therefore, it's 2 of the classes within your class schedule for 2021. And that way a person can pick and choose which one. Now, you may put something on there that they have to redeem it or they have to secure or confirm the classes within, 90 days of being gifted this item. So it doesn't go on forever. But the idea is I need you to think through those logistics, because once you figure out those logistics, you really will be able to put some amazing offering and products in place. The other thing I want you to think about are flash sales, things where for 48 hours it's on sale. 72 hours, it's on sale. And the reason I want you to do that, especially if you have an active base, if you have a base of like, especially existing customers, existing students, existing people who've signed up for your course, or you have a membership program, let's say, for an example, what you can do is you have people who are engaged. Why not create a limited time or a quick offer for that group of people? So therefore, if you have a membership program, what you may end up doing is offering people a way to get some additional consults, but they have to be a part of that membership program to get it. And that way you're giving people additional services, but it's confined and it's tight, and it's not going to maybe break the bank, as they say. The other thing it may do is it may extend someone's offering. So if someone's a member and they paid for a year, maybe they can get a package where instead of purchasing a 6-month package, they get a 7th month package for the price of a 6-month package, as an example. And that's a great way to get people who are already engaged, people who are willing to pay you, people who understand your value and love you, in a sense, a way to actually promote and work with them. And then the last thing I want you to do in December is think about last minute gifts. I want you to think about things that people can give, because that's the beauty of services, that, those final days before a holiday, when all of us are like, oh, I forgot to get this, or, oh, it didn't arrive in time, or, oh, I couldn't figure out what to give this person. In the past, people did a lot of gift cards, as an example. For services, it's like the sweet spot, because you can send out an email and let someone know about the service because it didn't need to arrive on a specific date. It's something they normally redeem afterwards. So make sure you have a last minute gift item option in your business. All right. And don't worry, we will chit chat towards the end about what some of those options are, as well as if you want to throw out some ideas my way and want me to give you some feedback, I definitely will. All right. Now let's talk about how do you create these offerings? How do you create these deals? Because for some of you out there, you're like, Stephanie, it's already been a hard year. I can't give somebody 50% off. It's already been a hard year. I can't give it away. And what I'm not asking you to do is give it all away. I'm asking you to be creative. I'm asking you to think about what would it be, or how could you put a deal together that would make financial sense? And what that might mean is, where in the past you were selling one class at a time, if you can create a bundle of classes, what happens is it pulls that revenue forward. It increases your average spend from someone, and it creates an opportunity for you to secure more money at a time. So instead of a class that cost $25, as an example, if you were able to sell a bundle at $90, so a 4-class bundle, there's a little bit of savings in that, but you're able to pull in more revenue at once. And therefore, it reduced your cost as far as the amount of marketing you have to do. If you're able to sell out a couple of classes because you're able to get a lot of people to buy these bundles, that will be less work down the line for you. So there's a little bit of a savings in there, especially if you can get it to that point. The other thing I want you to think about when you think about deals is, a lot of times we think about bundles like we're putting always the same items together. Like I got pens on my desk, as an example. And instead of it always being like, I'm going to give you 2 pens, 4 pens, 12 pens. That's cool. But what I want you to do is do a diverse package. So instead of giving someone the same thing in multiple ways, give them more. So if you're a coach, as an example, you might do a package bundle that includes a 1-hour consult. It might include your online course, and it might also include a workshop that you're offering. And that way you're giving a more diverse package and giving people multiple services that you offer. And it's a way that you can increase the price. Plus, this becomes something that's unique. It's something that you haven't really sold before or done before. It's just allowing you to pull these things together. And I also love to have unique offers. So that's why I like to bring together diverse packages or diverse ideas, because then it can be something that a person may want. It creates a little sense of urgency because it's not something they can normally get on your website. This is something you put together special for the holidays, and people may be more willing or interested in doing it because of it. Maybe if you're doing classes, let's say, for example, you may do a cook-along class. Now, I've been using the class example a lot, so I'll switch to the fitness example now. Say you're a fitness instructor, as an example. What you may want to do is you may offer fitness class bundles for the family. You may offer fitness class bundles for couples. So in the past, you always worked with individuals, but now you're going to open it up to a larger group of people, especially since most of us are a little bit more homebound these days. By offering or creating that diverse type of bundle offering, what it can do for you is it can create something unique that people aren't used to buying from you. And it can create a way for you to have a deal that doesn't have to be a discounted deal. When you're doing diverse offerings, when you're bringing things together that are normally not together, they don't have to be 50% off, 40% off. What they can be, it's just something unique that you only offer a few times a year, and people will be interested in it because of its kind of a uniqueness in the offer. Does that make sense to everyone? Let's see if I can get some head nods to that. Okay. All right. Thank you for the head nods. All right. Now, when you're doing a deal, we need a calendar. You need something behind it to say, what are you doing? Because I said in November, oh, okay, we're going to do Black Friday and Cyber Week. Or in December, you're going to be doing Hanukkah, or you're going to be doing Giving Tuesday. You need a calendar to talk about not just what your offering is, but how are you going to do your marketing? So I wanted to show you how I normally do my scheduling. And this is a very simple calendar. I normally do this in like a Google Docs. I create this calendar. So it's just a little table in here that just shows me the weeks. I type in the dates that are in black. I just physically type those in. I use this as a template, so each month I can copy it again and just put the new dates in there. But I normally anchor it with something. This is my November calendar, and I want to show you this because it's like a real calendar that I build when I do promotions. We have a course that we've been launching, so that course is launching this week, which I'm excited about. But what I wanted to show you is how we try to plan things so I know when my emails are going out, when I'm going to be live. So in pink right here are these emails that we have scheduled. Now our emails don't go to everyone. We have different segments that are getting different emails. But by me planning this out, I can make sure that I don't have too many emails going to too many of the same people at a time. And this is a gentle dance. Every once in a while I mess up. So hopefully you guys no one's over there wagging their finger at me because you got too many emails this month. But the idea is I strive to do better at it and get a better balance. So by putting together a calendar like this gives me a sense. Now what you see in the blue are my live sessions. So these are things that I broadcast live. So I do a live session normally on Wednesday. For some reason, the one on the 4th isn't in there, but that's okay for right now. But you can see the blue items are in there. I just did a live session before this webinar, and you can see the item in the green are my webinars. So every month I do a webinar, every month I have a live session, but what I've overlaid on here are my promotions for the holidays. So you can see I'm going to have an email coming out on the 27th that's going to announce our deal. And then we're going to have an email coming out on the December 4th saying, hey, deal's ending, last chance to jump in. And that's all I want you to do. I don't want you to feel like this calendar has to be like full every single day I'm doing something. I just want you to have visibility to it so you understand how it works with your other marketing and how this promotion lays on top. Okay, Sarah, sorry you couldn't stay. Definitely you can catch the replay. Thanks for the note. All right. Does this make sense to everyone? Does this calendar feel doable? Because that's the thing, is I never want it to feel overwhelming. Now, if I showed you everything I was doing, there'd probably be a lot on this page, but I always want to show you what I do so it feels a little bit real. It feels a little bit consistent with what you see me do. Plus, you can check out the email on the 27th so you can see what I mean. All right, now let's dive into the next piece. When you're doing these deals, I want you to have a quick marketing formula. I want you to quickly think about, how do I do these? And this is kind of my go-to approach before I go deep and I get like really, really creative. As a general rule, if I'm going to be doing a promotion, I'm going to be posting maybe 1 to 3 social media posts. Now those posts may be across multiple channels, maybe in one channel. One of them may be a video, one may be an image. They can be different types of posts. And also I'm kicking myself because I I want to start getting into like Instagram reels and stuff like that. So that may be one of those types of posts, but it's something on social media to make sure people are aware of it. The other thing I love to do is always have some page on my site that features the deal. Now, it could be a landing page, it could be an existing product page. So if you have a page where people go to see your sales, your promotions, your product, what you can do is take that page and put a banner at the top that talks about your deals for the holidays, and whatever holiday you're celebrating, you could put that banner on that page. Or you can add it as a section to that page. Whether you're using something like Eventbrite for your events, you just add it as a little section that says holiday deals and holiday offerings. If you have it on your website, you're just adding it as a section to your website or a placeholder somewhere on your website so people can see it. Sometimes we even do little banners at the top. The other thing is, I always love to do at least 2 emails for a promotion, something that announces it and something that lets people know it's the last day to sign up. At a minimum, I try to do 2. And the reason I like 2 is especially if they're far enough apart. Now, if you're doing a 48-hour promotion, that may be a little aggressive because you have to announce it and then the next day you have to do another email. But if you're not sending out a lot of other emails that week, then that may be okay. I don't want you to be sending out like emails every single day. I feel it's a little aggressive. And I really want you to tread lightly. I want you to use these tools to grow your business, not use these tools to make people angry or frustrated, especially since we're all getting a lot of emails right now. And then the last thing I love to do is have some type of live session incorporated into this marketing. So whether the topics for my live sessions switch to whatever I'm promoting and talking about. So I do a live session every Wednesday, 1:00 without fail. Well, maybe I might take a day off because I think the 24th this year is on a Wednesday. So I may take that day off. But the idea is I try to be consistent. I try to make sure I show up live and connect with everybody. But if I have a promotion going on, I'm going to kind of link it with whatever I'm offering. So let's say, for example, like I have my course right now. My course is all about tech and tech vibes and tech tools. So when I go live, I talk about technology. I talk about things that I've used. I give tips, recommendations. That's how I incorporate things in so that I don't need a whole new session. I don't want you to feel like, well, if I'm already going live, Stephanie, you want me to go live again? Not necessarily. I want you to take what you're already doing and maybe cater those topics for that month, for that week, or for that day, and let it link into. Now, when I say link in, I don't want you to turn that into a promotional session. That isn't what happens in my live sessions. It's just the topic is around it. And then I put a little breadcrumb at the bottom in the text where it tells people, hey, I do have a class. If you're interested, here's a link. But the session is still pure. It's still the way I do it. I'm just giving out free content and free information. That's what I want you to do as well. What do you guys think of this kind of marketing formula? What do you think? Does this feel like tangible and not like overwhelming? Does this feel okay? Good. I'm getting some thumbs up from the folks over in the Zoom. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Come on, everyone in social media, give me some thumbs up or let me know what you're thinking over there too. I have no pressure, but I love to hear what people are thinking. But thanks, everyone. And I wanted to show you an example. I got lucky, actually. We've been working on this for our team, and I ended up doing this early. So we got it done early. So I thought I'd show you an example of what we're doing. Doesn't mean you have to do it this way. Doesn't mean it has to work this way for you. But I always think it's good when I show you tangible things. So what we've done is we're going to put our Cyber Week deal and Black Friday deal is going to revolve around our online courses. The reason we do our online courses is they're highly leverageable. I can manage a group of people. So if I do some type of discount or do some type of promotion, I can manage it and handle, I can handle 20 people signing up just like I can handle 150 people signing up in an online course, as an example. If I did this with a consult, as an example, that would be a little bit of a strain on me because I may not have that many hours available. So I want you to always pick something that has a little bit of leverage. The other thing we're doing a little bit differently is we're not necessarily doing a big discount. And that's why I wanted to show you this, because I know for a lot of times when I talk about the deal, people feel like, oh, Stephanie, you want me to give it all away. And that's not what I'm saying. I want you to be creative. And this is one of my favorite promotions. What I find is people love our courses. They want to buy our courses. But during this holiday season, or even other holiday seasons, money is tight. So therefore, they need a solution. So what we do for a lot of our offerings, especially this time of year, is we will do what we kind of call extended payments. So that way you can access my course right now, but you can pay me a little bit over time. So instead of having to pay $150, $160 for a course, let's say, for example, what we do is we break that up over multiple months. And that way it's not as maybe huge of a financial strain. That way someone can sign up now while they're still maybe spending money on other things. And that way I don't have to give a crazy discount to my course. Instead, I can create a different solution. So I wanted to show you this to you. Now it's a little tricky because I have a couple different courses. So some courses are 20 and some courses are 25 a month, blah, 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 blah. But don't worry about those details. The idea is think about a way that you can do something like this. Maybe someone's working with you and you have a coaching program or a package. And instead of them paying it all up front, maybe if they do a 4-week package with you, they get to pay you weekly instead of upfront in a month. If someone works with you over 3 months, maybe they get to pay you monthly as opposed to paying you upfront or making a big discount. Deposit, sorry, a big deposit. So that's a way to do it. All right. The other thing I love to do is add these things to product pages. So this is an example that I added to my product page. So when someone comes on an actual course page, they see this. Text is about the same as what's on our homepage. The only difference is I love using countdown timers. These are so cool. They just count down to the deal deadline. So they help people know that, hey, it's coming up. Creates a little bit of urgency around it. And also it gives something that's like moving on the page. So it's not just text, text, text. So this is what I mean. I don't want you to feel like I'm asking you to call up your coder and actually say, oh, now I need a web designer to go figure out how I'm going to make a landing page for my deal. What I want you to do is just type some text to explain what your deal is. Maybe put a little countdown clock on there as well. I think the one I use is called Power, POWR. I think is the software that I'm using, and I'm using it for free. That's why you can see their little logo at the end. I always love to show you guys free stuff because I don't want you to feel like, Stephanie, I'm trying to make money, not spend money. So you can use their free service. And what you can do here is put this on a page and put this on an existing page. You can add this into an existing place in your own website or your events. And that's how I want you to approach your marketing. I want you to find easy ways to incorporate these deals so that you're not spending a ton of money designing from scratch, creating from scratch, and I'm not adding too big of maybe a project to your list. Okay. All right. So let's talk about some deal ideas. Let's talk about what you could do. Let's talk about some brainstorming that we should do. So if you're watching me, whether you're watching this live or recorded, it's time for you to pull out a pen. It's time for you to get to work. I want you to start thinking about and brainstorming some deal ideas while we're talking. I'm going to give you some ideas while I'm talking, but I want those creative kind of juices to start to flow. If you want to share it in the comments or share it in Zoom, I'd love that too. But what I want you to do is start thinking about what could be your offering. And then ultimately, after I finish this slide, because I think it's our last one, and then I'm going to open things up for Q&A so I can answer your questions. I'm going to open it up so I can get a sense of what, if I can help clarify things for you. Now, I tried to give you a variety of individuals here. So we're going to be looking at coaches, instructors. I did authors and writers. I did artists and graphic designers. I said professional services, which could be like my lawyers, could be my individuals that are doing any type of not just coaching, but where you maybe people pay you for your services. You could even be an interior designer. You could be, I'm trying to think of somebody. Maybe you're a handyman as an example, or a handy woman. This is, that's that kind of option. And then maybe if you're a podcaster, I just wanted to give everyone some ideas to get things going. But as always, I know it's impossible for me to come up with all of them on my slides. So I'll continue to brainstorm with you as a group. All right, so let's talk about coaches. If you're a coach, think about ways that you can take your existing packages and maybe add what I call an extended offer. So if someone's already purchasing from you a 4-week package, Maybe for your deal, for your offering for this year, they get an extra week in there. They get an extra 2 weeks in there. What makes financial sense? But the idea is that you're not reducing the price of your product. We're not saying that the price point needs to go down. Instead, we add to it to create value, but we keep your price the same. And the idea is if they purchase in this window of time, that's when they're able to get that extra week or extra 2 weeks. Now, we definitely can do discounted packages, but if you're going to do a discount, I always want you to do a package. I never want you to offer your hourly rate as a coach. Let's say, for example, if you're a fitness coach and you charge, I don't know, I'll say $100 an hour just to make my math easy. I don't want you to say, okay, my $100 an hour service, I'm going to give people 25% off. Now I'm getting $75 an hour. That's not what I want you to do as far as a discount. What I want you to do instead is sell 4 consults together and then give a discount off of that. So therefore, you can give people a discount, but it's not as significant as a haircut. It doesn't mean that you're I don't want you to devalue your hourly rate. I want people to feel like they're getting a deal as opposed to you're making significantly less. So instead of maybe charging $400 for this package, you may bring this package down to, I don't know, let's say $360, $370. That kind of discount is what I mean. So people are still getting a savings, but it wouldn't be the same as if you were just completely taking your packages down. Because remember, I want you to do this for growth. I don't want you to do this, to break the bank. Okay. And the other thing to think about are online courses. Now, some of you may have courses, may not have courses. If you have courses, try to bundle them together. Allow people to buy 2 or 3 courses if you have that or not. Also, think about from a course standpoint, if you don't have courses, but you have other content, put those things together. So let's say you've done a lot of videos. Let's say you have a lot of recordings. You may take those recordings and just put them online as a course. But the difference here is you may create some little workbooks. You may create some commentary about them. So you could add to those materials as well. Oh, I have a question that already popped in. So we have a question about being a tourist house. Cool. I really like that idea. For a 3-night stay to dinner, full price, I will offer a stargazing. Oh, that's so wonderful. Stargazing for 2 and a nearby observatory worth €40. Teresa, I love that. I love the idea that you have a package already and offering a different additional activity for it is great. So just so everyone kind of understands kind of what Teresa's kind of recommending. The idea is that she already has a package. She already has something where it's a 3-night stay and people are getting a dinner. That's full price. And that way she's covered. Teresa has that customer secured. But what she's doing is offering an additional offering. Oh, she just thought of it. Teresa, I love it. Thanks for the clarity. But I still love it. It's a great idea. I'm impressed. But I love that idea. Yes, being able to offer an additional service on top of that would be great. Even what you have already now, if you're doing something like 3 nights and dinner, you could offer breakfast. You could offer snacks for the day. You could prepare snacks that people can grab as they're gone for the day and take them with them. So things like that are a way that you can add on something incremental without adding on something huge or impacting your existing offering. So love that, Teresa. Thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate it. Okay, instructors. Think about things like we talked about the gift option for classes. Also think about couples and group sessions. And what I mean by that is I gave the example of like a fitness group session, but especially if I'll go back to my cooking instructors as an example, because I'm going to go across households. So this year, many of us are not going to be together with our extended family and friends, our folks that just live nearby, the cousin's friend of the friend that comes by. Maybe your family used to fly in for all the holidays and so forth. And because many of us are maybe going to have smaller celebrations this year, that if I was a cooking instructor, I would do maybe a session before each one of these key holiday dates. And the key holiday dates, maybe Thanksgiving's a little tight, but you might be able to do something like this for the holidays in December, especially something for like Christmas, especially for New Year's Eve, because that becomes a big celebration for people. And you may have a class right before it, 2 days before it, 4 days before it, and you teach people how to prepare for that holiday, but you do it as a family session. So like our family, we used to do these like Zoom sessions where we get on and like, we'd play games with each other, like, like trivial games, or we did this one game where it was like, guess what I'm growing? And we'd have all these things that were like sprouted and people had to be like, that's beans, or that's, peppers or something like that. The idea that if someone was offering a cooking class, that could be a family cooking class. So therefore, my family in 5, 6 different locations could join a Zoom call and get a little lesson about making some vegan dishes for Thanksgiving. I think that would be really fun. It creates a family event and activity. As the instructor, you can charge for it. So one person can do it, or the family can decide how they're going to pay for it. But the idea is that's a unique offering, something different, something tangible, and something fun that people can share as a family. And that's what I want you to start thinking about. I want you to think of your offerings as things that are leverageable. Because the idea is if you have an offering of, it's a group session for 2, group session for 4, or group session for 10 plus, you can just have 3 price point levels. And with those 3 different price point levels, what you can do is have a charge, and therefore that person pays for the 2 package, the 4 package, or the extended family 10 plus package, or whatever that number is. Okay? All right. Let's talk about my authors and my writers out there. One thing I love to do is teach the creative process. For many people, people are in awe of people who can write a book. I'm in awe because I've been telling myself one day I'm going to do it. And I'm more than 10 years into my business and have not done it. And a lot of people like me have writer's block. A lot of people like me struggle. So there's 2 options that you can do as a deal this holiday season. You can do one side of it, especially if you're an experienced writer. And when I say writer, you don't have written 20 books or anything like that. Maybe you write a lot because you're a blogger. Maybe you are a copywriter. The idea is you could host something like a writer's workshop where you could teach people the process, your creative process, how you got through your book. You could talk about giving them tips and ideas on what they can do or how you've honed that skill. All right, let's flip it the other way around. Maybe you don't want to teach writing because you're like, I just figured it out for me, but I'm not an expert, Stephanie. Then you flip it the other way, and you may have a creative feedback workshop where you may either incorporate people in your sessions for your next book, your next article you're writing, the next thing you're writing, and people can be a part of that process. You could read excerpts from your new book, your new idea, or what you're planning to do. Or you can read from your existing book and invite people to that workshop. The reason I bring this up is I want you to be able to host things that are unique and different that doesn't cost you a ton of money. You just need to have a Zoom link to set this up. And what people can do is people can participate in your process. It's kind of like right now what people are doing on TV, where they're doing kind of like what they call readings. So a lot of the TV shows, because they haven't been able to film, people are like really interested in the content. What they're doing is having like the actors on screen and they're just reading their parts and people are watching it. So as an author, you could do something similar. You could, even if you're a short story author or you have multiple characters, or maybe you're writing a play, the idea is having these types of events that people can participate in, see, and so forth. That's how you can get those creative services and turn them into deals. The same thing goes if you're an artist or a graphic designer. If you're a graphic designer, consider creating a package of templates. All of us need like social media templates out there. Can you imagine if a graphic designer said, hey, I'm going to create like 30 days worth of templates that you can use in 2021 for your social media marketing? I know a ton of people would buy that because it'd be great if they had those templates to use in Canva or whatever service. You can also create subscription services. You could create something that you have or you offer where people can subscribe and tap into your service. So if you're going to be doing something like meditation, turn that into a subscription service for the holidays. Maybe it's a short-term one. Maybe it's something where you're going to have a subscription service that gets people through the holidays, and therefore they get to listen to an audio file from you. You just set it up as a podcast. It'll just be a private podcast. So that way it only goes to people who have paid for it. And what you can do is set it up as a holiday service to surviving the holidays while we're all socially distanced, as an example. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to keep digging deep, getting interesting about these offerings. Same thing with starter packages. One of my favorite things, offering new customers packages so they can buy your products or services. Now, I'm not a big fan of like existing customers get penalized because new customers only get the cool stuff. That's not what I mean. What I mean is coming up with a package for someone who maybe wants to work with you. Say you were a lawyer, and I don't think we have any lawyers on the call right now, but say if someone was a lawyer and you helped people with, this is just on my mind because I had a meeting the other day. We're helping people with getting their businesses up and running, creating contracts for their business or something like that. Maybe you help people with creating contracts, employee contracts, coaching contracts, non-disclosure agreements, all that good stuff. Instead of a person just coming to you and hiring you as a lawyer for those hourly rates, if you created a little package that said, for new vegan businesses, these are the documents that most new vegan businesses need. I'm going to create a kind of starter package for these customers so that they can get started with these very specific intangible ideas. And then finally, for my podcasters out there, you have a ton of audio, you have a ton of maybe podcasts that you've done. You can turn that into an audio course. You can take a couple of your podcasts, couple that with maybe a couple of live audio sessions, and actually put that online. You can use tools like Patreon as an example to turn that into an audio course. Or you can take topics that you covered in your podcast and do video series based on those podcasts, based on what you learned, based on what you applied. If you're a gardener and you have a podcast, you can do a video series where you go out in your garden and show people what you've done. Show people how you use the techniques and the tools and the things that you talk about. And now what we're doing is taking what you already have existing and translating that into another deal. All right. Now, I know I didn't give everyone every idea. I know for some of you, you may have a few more questions. You may be wondering, what about me? So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to transition away from the slides here. So I'm going to just stop sharing my screen here and just put me on the screen for these last few minutes of our session today. And I want to ask everyone their thoughts. Anyone, and actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wrap it up with my folks on the live stream because my folks in Zoom, I don't want your voice to go over there. I don't want you to be public. I don't mind being public, but I don't want to put you guys in that scenario. So what we're going to do is say goodbye to all my folks that joined me here in social media. Thank you. I think this worked pretty cool. This isn't something I've done before, but I love being able to try new things and new tech and new tools. So I'm so excited because I think this worked. I didn't see anyone who said they couldn't hear me or see me, so definitely let me know. Hey, Teresa, I thought you were in Portugal, but it was so good. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it, and thanks for participating, and thanks for your ideas. And I can't wait to don't forget to let me know what you come up with because I love to hear. Okay, all right, perfect. So everyone who's on social media, we're going to stop going live there, but anybody who's in Zoom, give me 1 second. I'm going to transition over there so you guys can come on screen. We can unmute and we can chit chat for the last few minutes that we have, and I can answer any questions. All right. So goodbye, everyone in social media. I wish you guys all the best. Can't wait to hear how much you enjoyed this session. Don't forget to give us the thumbs ups and the likes, and I will see you guys later.